Hiya! Welcome! Back once again with another look at some additions to my Joy Division, New Order and related to each collection. We'll get straight into it as I've got not loads but a fair amount to show you here, and I'll start with some CDs. Most of this stuff, including one of two mail openings to do near the end, is from Discogs. So from a Discogs seller, I got this bundle here. Can't really call it a box set 'cause it's not in a box, it's just wrapped with sort of like this belly band / ribbon really. I think there's 6 CDs altogether of Peter Hook and the Lights Hebden Bridge tapes. Slightly strange way of getting these. The seller, I purchased something else off him that I'll show you right afterwards. And also I purchased the Peter Hook and the Light Live Low Life and Brotherhood Tour Hebden Bridge CD, as those seem to be sold separately as well as within this bundle. And he messaged me back and he said, oh sorry, I don't think I've got that Low Life and Brotherhood CD. However, I do have the complete Hebden Bridge set, this. So if you make me an offer on that Discogs listing, and it was up for, I think it's up for £90, and he said just offer me an extra 25 or 30, I think it was. I'll accept it, and then you'll get that and you'll get what you wanted plus extra, and it'll be a good deal. And that's what I did, so I got more than what I bargained for. So the 3 CDs here, and I'm not going to give you a closer look. I mean, I will have to take this funny thing off at some point, and I probably won't be able to get it back properly, which is a bit of a shame, but I'll try and find a way of preserving it somewhere. The first disc is Unknown Pleasures and Closer at Hebden Bridge. Well, I mean, I've got Unknown Pleasures and Closer, all the tracks and more from those albums performed by Hooky and the Light over quite a few vinyl albums now, as those of you who watched my recent Hooky and the Light video will know. But as I say, I wanted it really for the Low Life and Brotherhood Tour CD, because that's the one that's not come out on vinyl, as well as another one which we'll get to. Also, it's got Movement and Power, Corruption and Lies from Hebden Bridge. There again, I've got those on vinyl from different venues, so it's not doubling up really, although it kind of is. And of course the important one, the one I wanted, the one in the white packaging, is Low Life and Brotherhood. So as I say, I got these plus something else from the seller, and the something else was something I forgot to mention actually in the last Hooky and the Light video, where I said that there was certain stuff that was out on CD but not on vinyl. And of course it's the tour that I actually went to see Hooky on, either the first or the second time, can't remember which. But anyway, it's the Substance tour where Hooky and his band performed every track from both Joy Division and New Order's Substance compilations. Can't remember how much this was, 20-ish I think. I think there's 3 CDs in here, so lots to listen to. One thing I don't like about it is that there doesn't seem to be a track listing, unless it's in some sort of paper or card insert that I've not discovered yet, but I think all that's within these pockets are the CDs. That's not a big deal. I mean, it'll say the tracks on the CDs probably. Let me just get one of them out to look. No, it doesn't. No, that's disc 3, and like, looks very nice. No track listing. Wanted to get my Hooky and the Light collection up to date. It does have credits and notes and stuff there, just lacking in actual track information, but never mind. This on the Live Here Now label. As for the Hebden Bridge tapes, which there does seem to be a little insert here with this set, that's got an Abbey Road Studios logo on, so I think that'll be Live Here Now as well, as those two brands are kind of the same thing really, or they used to be. Don't show CDs in these New Order updates very often, but very happy that I've got all these, and for a pretty good price as well, as this complete set, it's surprising how expensive it is.
I have seen your face, but I don't recognize all these things you must have kept behind. It's a problem, you know, that's been there all your life. It tries to make
now to vinyl, and in particular this album from Jake Evans called Day One. From a Discogs seller again, I think including postage, this was about £15, so nice and cheap, and it is brand new and sealed as well. So Jake Evans, I believe he was the support act for New Order when I saw them in Wolverhampton back in 2015, and I also was familiar with him anyway because he was in the brief New Order spin-off Bad Lieutenant with Bernard Sumner, and Stephen Morris played with them a little bit as well, and Phil Cunningham was a member, and Tom Chapman, I think, for some of it. Anyway, Bad Lieutenant kind of came and went in the blink of an eye, really. Or Bad Lieutenant. I always assume it should be pronounced Lieutenant because that's how the film's pronounced, but in the UK we're supposed to say Lieutenant. Anyway, I thought I'd get this for a particular reason, and I'll open it and hopefully show you the reason why. It's got a little sticker on it that says includes CD, but I actually thought when I saw the Discogs entry for this, it was meant to have 2 CDs within it, as well as the vinyl LP, of course. One of the CDs is just the album, the vinyl album doubled up, but the other CD was the one that interested me in relation to my New Order collection, because I've been kind of dithering over this one for a while, like, does it really fit the collection? And it does, really. So that's the inner. Doesn't feel like there's any CDs stuck in. Oh no, there is. There's one. So Day One, so that'll be the CD that is the same as the album. So I'm now worried that the other CD isn't actually going to be in here. No, I don't think it is, which is a bit of a shame. Side 1 and Side 2. Now, I may be getting my information wrong, but I could have sworn there was meant to be another bonus CD which had like demos and additional tracks on it, and that was the CD that had a version of This Is Life, I think it is, the second track on the album, that featured Bernard Sumner. So I'm not sure I've got that CD. I mean, it could be on this and I might have misread it and it just has everything, the main album plus the bonus tracks on there. I'm not certain, but looking at it, there is only one CD. I'll put something on screen if I've got anything wrong here and that it was only supposed to be one, or whether I have got one missing. But not to worry, glad I've got it. I will file it with all my other Joy Division New Order related albums, as it is Bernard Sumner adjacent, even if he ends up not featuring on this album, particularly himself. Jake Evans, Day One.
This is life, final call, soar the highs, take the falls, there's a million stars above you in the making. Bite your lips, take the trip, brother please don't lose your grip. There's a million chances out there for the taking.
On now to a couple of purchases. Once again, a bit like the Jake Evans album, I saw these ages ago and I just didn't pull the trigger on them because after a lot of the previous stuff that I've been collecting for over a year now relating to this part of my collection, they were a little bit inessential, well, quite a lot inessential really. But it's this one, Fact Dance, and this is really the first volume, so Fact Dance 1, but maybe they didn't know they would be doing a volume 2 at the time. And very similar proposition to the Le Disque de Crépuscule / Factory Benelux / LTM recordings compilations that I added to the collection last year, such as From Factory New York, or Of Factory New York I think it is, New Order Presents B Music of course, the Cool as Ice and Twice as Nice compilations. So there is some B music production on here, but there's a lot of other factory records related stuff that I don't actually own. And that's really the reason I got it, because otherwise I didn't really need to double up. The stuff that I know is produced by B Music, aka New Order, on here is Section 25, Looking from a Hilltop, Royal Family and the Poor, Art on 45, Quando Quango, Atom Rock, 52nd Street, Cool as Ice, so there's quite a lot. And then there's some that isn't produced by them. And Marcel King, Reach for Love, that was a Barney production. And Abacadarian, Smiling Monarchs, that's a Barney production as well. This one is open and pre-loved, as it were. There's a quick look at the gatefold. I won't bother showing you the vinyl, I don't think. Oh, go on, I will. Change my mind right away, but it is just standard black vinyl. Over 2 discs, I think. Yes, it is over 2 discs, which would make sense with it being gatefold, but I do have some gatefold albums that are only single disc. So just kind of a nice factory dance music compilation, really. Dance music is maybe overstretching it a little bit. So really happy to get that. The price of this, by the way, I think was about 30 all in. A little bit cheaper from a different seller was Fac Dance 2. Once again, it has the familiar factory logo of the era on. And once again, there is some B Music production on here. This one is still coming, it's cellophane, it is open. So the ones produced by New Order on here are 52nd Street, Can't Afford, Nyam Nyam, Fate, Section 25 Sakura, I think is produced by, it'll be Barney or Stephen Morris, I think. And Shark Vegas, You Hurt Me, and then there's other tracks, some acts like The Wake, Fidela, Mini Pops, Biting Tongues, that have nothing to do with New Order, but they're all out on factory in the 1980s. And this was cheaper than the first one, I think. This one was about £20 actually. So lovely stuff there. The 2, and there was no more than 2, by the way, Fac Dance compilations. Inessential in relation to the fact that all the B Music production tracks, I've already got some of them multiple times over, but it'll be good to listen to some of the non-B Music stuff and justify it being in my New Order collection.
Sex shops, supermarkets, synagogue go-go, space station, psychedelic dungeon disco, riots in the ghetto, Stalinization of Western capitals, pop artists, politicos, middle-class mystics, enriched with nourishing hierarchical power. Sugar-coated psychopaths, syphilitic bureaucrats, fascist liars, vampire landscapes turning to dust. Astrodomes, bull rings, people's palaces.
Alright then, 2 male openings to finish us off now. This one here is from a Discogs seller. It is, as you'll be unsurprised to see from the size of it, a vinyl LP. It could have been a 12-inch single, but it isn't. This was quite cheap, I think, and it is this, 10 from 10, Manchester. So it's a various artists compilation. Am I holding it the right way? I must be. No, I'm not. That's better. Yeah, hype stickers the right way now. Plus, the hype stickers actually stuck to the record itself, just like how they used to do back in the old days. I say the old days. This isn't an old album. I'm looking for the copyright that, well, it's oldish now, 2004. I mean, that is over 20 years ago, but for me, that's not old. That's still in modern times, really. So what this is kind of mostly unknown and little-known Manchester acts covering other bigger Manchester artists' songs. So, for instance, we've got an act, it could be a solo artist, could be a band called Earl, who cover Regret on the first track on side A. There's also a cover of The Smiths' Panic by Tricky Nixon, Holly's The Air That I Breathe by Ammo, and then we get a Morrissey cover on side B by Pioneers, and even a Money's Too Tight to Mention cover, originally by Simply Red, of course, from Blood Red Bird. But the reason that I got this for this particular collection is for the final track on the album. It's a cover of Love Will Tear Us Apart by Hanky Park, However, it features Peter Hook, so Hooky did have something to do with it. He played on his own track, basically. I've got a feeling it's all black vinyl today, no coloured discs to show you. It is individually numbered as well, I think, handwritten. Says 223 of 500, I think that is there. Nice condition, obviously it's pre-owned again. Good price. Only place I could get that Hanky Park cover of Love Will Tear Us Apart featuring Hooky, I believe, unless I plumped for a CD somewhere, but I'm not even sure it's out on a CD. I'm interested to hear all these other cover versions as well. A celebration of Manchester, certainly, and quite a limited thing this, so really happy that I've got it.
Love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart again. Why is this bedroom so cold? You turn away on your side. Is my time in that flow? Our respect is so dry, yet the stillness appeal that we kept through all our lives. Love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart again.
And finally, we can leave Discogs and move over to Bandcamp for this mail opening. So you can probably guess what's in here, given the lesser size of the package. Sea Fever, whose most recent album, Surface Sound, I showed in the last Records Roundup here on the channel, and it is a fantastic album as well. It's one of my favourites of the year so far, to be honest. They put a post up on Instagram saying that they'd just started a Bandcamp page, and I thought, well, I'll go and have a look, but I can't imagine there'll be anything on there that I want that I haven't already got. But there was a single that I knew was out by Sea Fever. It come out in 2022. It's a standalone single. It doesn't feature on their first album or on their new one that has just come out. And they had copies up for grabs on their Bandcamp page, and it was one I'd looked for on Discogs and eBay before, and I couldn't find it, and it wasn't coming up anywhere else. So really happy that I was able to get this, and it is signed as well, like the album Surface Sound, which was signed at Wax and Beans. This one signed by the band. Dilemma, it's a good track, I've heard it in preparation for making this video. Hopefully I'll be able to play you a clip in a moment. As I say, I think it's all black vinyl today, but we'll just get it out and check. Yes, it is. So Dilemma on side A and the Pete Gleedall remix edit on side B. Pete Gleedall is probably most famous for being the keyboard programmer for Chris Lowe in the Pet Shop Boys. Really happy to have got that and to have checked Sea Fever's Bandcamp page. And there we are. That may be one of the quickest New Order Joy Division related videos that I've done, to be honest. And even then, it's probably not that quick, especially with me putting a few audio music clips in as well. There was a couple of Joy Division bootlegs that I ordered from somewhere, a shop I'd never used before, and they emailed me quite promptly saying that they had to order these in, but it seems to be taking quite a while for them to source them. So whether I'll ever even get those, I'm not sure. But the Joy Division bootlegs, I can live without them. They're just kind of bonus pieces for the collection really at this stage. But really happy that I've got all this stuff here today. So thank you all for watching. Special thanks go, as always, to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, start listening to all this good stuff. 3 various artists compilations, the 2 FAC Dancers and 10 from 10 Manchester, the Sea Fever single of course, and the Jake Evans album that may not have the bonus material that I was expecting it to, but it doesn't matter really. I'm still glad that I got it. And of course the Hooky CDs as well. Lots to listen to there, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next Joy Division, New Order and related video, and my next music collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!